Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a discussion of the Ted Lasso season finale, series finale, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know. Um, Spoilers ahead, of course. So stay tuned if you've seen the finale. But I really enjoyed the finale, and overall, I've really enjoyed this series. I think it's a rare series that just kind of chooses to like have things be good and happy and have people be like and maybe it's an oversimplification, but I just like that. Like I think it's nice to have something that's nice. Like that's really it. Of course there's been drama all throughout the seasons, but overall I think we all knew that this series is going to end on a happy note, really. um and that means many different things for many of the characters. And that could also mean that some things are kind of ambiguous because we don't know what's going to happen, right? They've talked about maybe doing a spinoff. They've talked about continuing the series. Whatever the case may be, we are at a place where I think the finale was pretty satisfying. So let's kind of go over what happened in the episode. The main thing of it all, of course, is that AFC Richmond has to win their game, plus somebody else has to lose or draw, and then they might get the tie. I mean, and then they would get the title for the championship. Now we've seen the journey as this team had some up and downs and kind of like had to overcome a lot of obstacles, come together, and that's kind of what this show's really all been: building this team, overcoming all those things, with doing things in a different way, because obviously Ted Lasso was not really a soccer coach. But let's talk about some of the things that kind of happened for our characters. Let's start with Rebecca. I think she had a little bit of a weird journey this season because I think she had been looking for something, and I'm not sure if she was going to find it, right? The whole storyline with the psychic was really weird. Like, I almost thought they were setting her up to end up with Sam, but I don't know where they introduced this other guy that she meets in Holland or in Amsterdam. Yeah, in Amsterdam when she went to the Netherlands. Um, and that's weird because like Destiny kind of brought her full back, but she has a lot of important decisions to make, including if she wants to sell the team. Like she can go public with the team and still keep majority ownership. She can sell the team, or she can kind of keep things going. And when we started the show, the only reason she had the team was because she wanted to destroy it and destroy something. But I think at this point, my biggest thing with her is that she doesn't care what happens to her ex-husband. um as far as like, it doesn't concern her. That's not what's driving her ambitions, her happiness, which I think it's overall really great. Is She's such a fun character too, and with great performances. I think her and Ted have had a very tenuous relationship that has grown into a really cool friendship. So that was really nice to see on the screen. They had a lot of really good moments, especially when she goes to the airport, buys a first class ticket just to get through security. That was really fun exchange. So let's see. Let's talk about Roy, Keely, and Jamie. So obviously, throughout this season, Roy and Jamie have been both. They become really good friends, and it's kind of a weird journey if you imagine from when they started, where they really hated each other. Um, and Keely's doing her own thing with the PR, but in this one, they both Roy and Jamie kind of are very upfront with each other that they both like Keely and they both would like the other one to kind of step out of the way. They try to resolve things in a very funny manner. They definitely do fight about it, which is really interesting. Like we don't even get to see it, but we see the aftermath of it. And then they both decide that Keely's the one that should decide. But I like that the show kind of left that open ended, really, because Keely doesn't have to decide. She doesn't just have to be with one of them. She's doing her own thing, right? Which is just I like that a lot. I like that if there's more to Lasso somehow in the future, we can kind of follow up on that. If not, like she's just friends with them too. Like why can't she just likes them both as friends, and that's it. She doesn't need to end up with one of them. I think I would have been okay if she ended up with either one. because both have changed for the better. Roy ends up becoming the manager for the club, and Jamie finally becomes the player at probably his full potential that he has always been. He made it to the national team and all that. Um, a lot of the players, they get a lot of really nice things. I love the fact that Zoro gets a new mask from Danny, and he changes his name back to Zorro. So he's kind of back where we started from Van Damme. We don't get to see a lot. We do see Colin finally bring on his boyfriend into the field, so he does have a public display of affection. So maybe now that means he's out publicly. And in this world that they've set up, where a lot of things and people are the best versions of themselves, he doesn't have to really deal with any of the fallout that would be from a player coming out. Um, so and like I said, this show is just showing you like that nice things can happen and people can be nice. That's really cool. We also see the psychiatrist come back to be the official psychiatrist of AFC Richmond, which is really fun. Let's talk about Beard. So Beard finally, like, I love his arc here, like in the last few episodes, where we learn that he was kind of a shit person, and Ted helped him turn his life around, even after multiple times that he probably screwed him over. So that was really nice. It was really nice that he finally embraced Nate, and he decided to stay because he has a life here now. And I think it's time for him and Ted have a really both emotional and funny scene as he tries to get off the plane. So yeah, go Coach Beard. Um, so now we have our coaching staff almost in full. We have Roy is the main manager. We also have Beard as the assistant coach, and then we also have Nate, who's probably had the biggest arc this season. And I know a lot of people were pretty upset at how Nate kind of had a villainous turn out of nowhere. Um, but I like that his storyline just kind of talked about like, hey, I fucked up, and I don't know, give me another chance, and thank you. I appreciate like that's really what it was. Like Nate wanted to be in AFC Richmond, and he loves what Ted had built there. But I think his fear of maybe losing it is what kind of drove him away. He went through a lot of really bad shit. Especially Rupert is just the fucking worst. But yeah, Nate's happy. He finally got with Jade. Who what a weird relationship all throughout the season. Really, the series of her being he got to go out. He loves going out to his favorite restaurant, which is really fun. So yeah, I like Nate, and he had some really emotional moments because he finally tells, even though Ted never asked him to, for an apology, Nate gave him one because, that's kind of what you do. Like he needs that to kind of move forward and put the sign back up together. So that was really nice. Which there's another emotional scene where the team kind of pulls the sign out, or like they all kind of kept a little piece of the believe sign, which was really cool. Like they never gave up on that philosophy, and they finally find the fourth point that the Ted Lasso coaching way. Um, Trent from the Independent, or formerly from the Independent, he finishes his book, but Ted just asked him one thing about to change about it, and that is to change the name of the book out of the Ted Lasso way to the Richmond way, because in Ted's mind, this was never just about him, and that's really true. Uh, so I think, let's see, I think I've gone over most of everyone. Hopefully, I didn't miss any of the main characters. So let's talk about Ted. Um, oh, Rupert gets his comeuppance in a really good way. I guess before I talk about Ted, so Richmond wins their game, but against West Ham, Rupert loses his team. Fuck that guy. Uh, but l- they still don't win the league because Manchester City, they won their game, so they ended up in second. And I think the way it works is that just whoever's highest on points wins the cup. There's no like a final game or anything like that. So yeah, Richmond. I mean, they accomplished a lot. They had probably the best season in their whole career, and even then, that sometimes isn't enough. But like Ted said, just kind of you have to leave it all out there. So, all right, let's talk about Ted. Ted, he faced a lot of demons within himself this season, including like when his mom showed up. Like that was pretty intense when she finally tells him like, "Look, I'm here because your son needs you." And I think Ted knew that all along. He just needed to hear it. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the last episode, we knew Ted was gonna quit. And we knew that he had to go back home. He's learned a lot, and I think he needs to embrace that. His family may not all be together, but that's his family. That's who is going to be there for him, and he's got to be there for his kid. So yeah, I mean, even though there was a very generous offer for him to stay as manager, Ted chooses to go home, and I think that's really important. That sometimes you just got to do what you think is best for yourself, even if it's not the most profitable thing or the most, the easiest salute. What people would say is the easiest choice. So yeah, Ted goes home. That's really it. There's not a lot. He tells the team everything that they need to know, and that's it. And like I said, the show ends on this kind of semi-ambiguous notes where we have a lot of these unanswered questions, but like we don't need all the answers, right? We just need to know that everyone's kind of doing all right and kind of hanging out, and they're still doing the thing for the team. And now the city, like the public, can invest in the team. So now this is a team that is not just Rebecca's, but it's also the people's, which is really cool. Very weird how this show had a lot of similarities with the story that's going on with Wrexham over, with with Ryan Reynolds and McEnany, Roy McEnany. I don't. You know what? The fun bit is that nobody really knows his name correctly. Um, but I think it's Rob McElhenney. But yeah, I mean, that was a really fun parallel and just in real life. So overall, whether we get more or Ted Lasso in the future or not, or like something in this world, which I think Apple knows that they have something fun here and they probably want to keep going. It'll definitely be a little while before things kind of keep going, because I don't think they have. I would watch a show. I would watch another season of like everyone else but Ted, right? Because they're still really fun, entertaining characters, and I do still care about all of them. It's not just all about Ted on this one. So, anyways, let me know what you thought about the season finale, series finale, or whatever you want to call it. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember, share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.